Yes, I know the summer's glow is promised on the wind, with golden skies and butterflies and dreams that never end. Burning sands.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World.
Lovers in the haze.
My name is Hilary Seabrook. If you've listened to Harmonious World before, you'll know that it's all about me chatting with musicians. And if this is your first time, then welcome. For this episode, I'm delighted to be joined by vocalist and songwriter Rachel Sutton. Rachel's new album, Realms, is out at the end of March. What you're listening to right now is Summer Song. And I love the birds at the start of this track. So thank you for joining me for this episode of Harmonious World, and I hope you enjoy my chat with Rachel Sutton.
Tumbling down softly now, hiding what's not seen. Yes, I know the summer's glow is promised on the wind, with golden skies and butterflies and dreams that never end.
Welcome to Harmonious World, Rachel Sutton, vocalist and composer. It's great to speak to you.
Oh, it's lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, no problem. And Realms, your new album, is out on the 27th of March. So that's great.
Yeah, really exciting. Really looking forward to that.
And actually, at the start of this, I'm playing an extract from Summer Song, which is a lovely track.
Oh, I'm so glad that you like that. It's very special to me, that song.
Okay, tell me about that.
It's well, I started writing it, and it just started sort of coming out of me, and I realized after a while that actually it was to do with my childhood. And I was brought up in the countryside in a house. I was very, very lucky to call my home, and I was quite heartbroken when we had to sell it. But it's really about those long, hazy summer days that you have when you're young that seem to go on forever, forever and ever and ever. You know, the ones that never end.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about that and the sort of the feelings of that and being in the countryside and being free and no technology, nothing like that. It's just a beautiful summer's day and the world is full of possibilities and you're young and free and you can do whatever you want within reason, obviously.
Yeah. And I think I especially felt drawn to that because, here in the UK, we're having the odd glimpse of sunshine that promises summer.
It does, yeah, and particularly yesterday, I felt that. I was thinking about Summer Song yesterday, yeah, and thinking,
Yes.
come on, let's get going. We're ready now.
Yeah, we're ready to have some days with no rain. That would be nice. And a bit of sunshine.
This is very true. No more rain, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It can rain at night. Nighttime rain is good for the farmers and for the garden and stuff, but not anymore during the day, please.
This is true. Yeah, we have had quite a lot. I'm quite a winter person. I don't mind the cold and the rain, but this has been sort of excessive, I think, the rain and it's obviously very good for nature, but if it could happen now at night from now on, I think that would be preferable.
Exactly. Right. So tell me about Realms, about the composition process first. How did that get written?
So more and more over the years, I have been writing at the piano. With my first album, A Million Conversations, it was more of a sort of collaborative process between me and my piano player Roland Perrin. But with this album, I was absolutely determined that it was just going to be me. And I sat at the piano for many, many hours. It's honestly one of the most pleasurable, fulfilling things I think I've ever done. It took me a long, long time, but I sat down at the piano, I looked out at my lovely garden, and I just let the music come. And I know that probably sounds a little bit strange, let the music come. Well, how do you let the music come? How is that actually possible? But sometimes it just does. I've never been somebody that wants to force things out of myself. And with the music, for me, it's just such a sort of natural, organic process. And sometimes the songs are born out of my own experiences, and sometimes they're born out of stories that I've heard or things that I've seen in nature, or something to do with my daughter, something lovely that she says, something to do with my past, some relationship that I've had, some relationship that someone else has had. And I tend to kind of work with many things sort of going on at the same time. So I'll tend to get a hook of some kind. And then the next day I might get another hook. And I'm thinking, now, is that hook part of that song I've started? Or is that something else? And sometimes I'll have 4 or 5 songs on at the same time. And there are moments when I think, oh my gosh, I've got 4 or 5, 6 songs going around in my head, but I've got to focus on this one. I want to really try and get this one done. And then I try and go to the next one, and then maybe go back to the other one. And then I realise that part of that one actually is part of song number 1, for example, So it's quite a drawn out process. Some songs write themselves really quickly, and some songs take me a long time to perfect. But that's it, really, in a nutshell. It's a long process, but a very organic, natural one to me.
Right. And so did you sort of reach the point where you thought, right, I have a collection of songs that will work together on an album, so let's go into the studio? Is that how it happened?
Well, my last album, A Million Conversations, I bought that out a month before lockdown in 2020. Happy times.
Yes, indeed.
And I that had been out for sort of a year or two, and then people started saying, right, when's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one? And I had been writing, and I knew that I wanted to do another album. And I've actually got more songs in my repertoire than are actually on Realms, the one that's coming
Oh,
out on the
okay.
27th. But I decided that this particular collection, I really wanted, I sort of felt an urgency to get these ones out together. And the name for the album, Realms, really came from the fact that it is such an incredibly eclectic mix of music.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do when I write, although I'm very, very influenced by jazz because my mum brought me up listening to jazz records, I'm hugely influenced by those singers and the music I heard from that time. But I also listen to, rock and pop and folk and country. And so I've always written what comes naturally to me and what I feel, even though I am primarily known as a jazz singer. So the fact that this is such an eclectic mixture of songs is, I think, testament really to my influences, how I've got so many different sort of people, singers that I absolutely adore and songwriters. And I just felt that that's the music. That's what came out of me. It was that eclectic mix, and I called it Realms. And Realms comes from the song that you're going to play, Summer Song, where fairies play and want to stay in realms we cannot know, because part of that song is about the sort of the nature around us and how many layers there are to this life, things that we can't possibly know and understand. And Realms is really sort of tied up in all the different worlds that we inhabit as human beings, all the different experiences we have.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very long answer to your question.
No, it's an interesting answer. Very interesting answer. I love the writing and the sort of the process that gets you to this point where you're, a few weeks away from the release. And because it's a long journey, and especially for artists that don't have a massive organization behind them. They don't have an entourage running around.
Exactly.
You have to do a lot of the stuff. I mean, you have people that help, but you have to do it, and I find that fascinating.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like doing the job of about 10 or 15 people some days.
And jumping between those jobs.
As well as being a mother.
Yeah.
And doing the shopping and doing the cooking and doing the cleaning and all the other things, even though I hasten to add that my husband is brilliant at all of those things too. But, as a woman, your mind is constantly on about a million different things at the same time. And actually, I explained to somebody the other day that bringing out an album is like cooking a massive roast dinner for 25,000 people and keeping it hot everything hot at the same time. It's a really intricate, detailed task if you don't have a massive load of people behind you backing you up. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think sometimes people have no concept of what that's like.
They just don't understand, Hilary.
No, they don't.
They just don't understand, darling. It's a nightmare.
The trauma of the artist.
I mean, it's brilliant. I feel so lucky and privileged to be able to do this. I mean, God, we're so lucky. We really are.
Oh, yeah.
But it is very, very dense, the amount of work, and it costs a lot of money. I don't think people realize how much money it costs.
No, that's right. Well. I mean, thankfully, some of the bigger artists, first of all, they're publicizing how much things cost.
Yeah.
I think especially for people that are, so not the big players, not the kind of Rolling Stones, Coldplay type, but the next layer down.
Yeah.
They almost certainly, most of their tours lose money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're on the lowest rungs where you're literally going around and doing gigs from here and there, you can make some money, but you're making most of your money from album sales. Somebody posted something a little while ago on Instagram saying that at a gig he sold 6 albums and he made more money from that than he did from something like 100,000 downloads.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
People don't realize how little money goes to the artist from things like all of the streaming platforms.
We know who. The name that should not be mentioned.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have to say this is why Bandcamp is quite important.
Oh, I love Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And Bandcamp Fridays that they've started doing again, which are amazing. I'm constantly saying to people, if you want to support music, if you want music to keep going, either go to the artist's gig and buy an album from them there, or go on to Bandcamp, particularly on Bandcamp Friday, because all of the profit goes to the artist, and just do that rather than streaming, or as well as streaming. If you want to listen, then that's fine. You can stream, but go and buy it in person.
Yeah. Or pay for the download.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So at this point in the podcast, I would like to play my second favorite track, which is,
Mm.
I'm sure that there's a story behind it, and I want you to tell me the story. I'm going to
Okay.
play first of all a little clip from Farley's song.
Oh God. Okay.
Over the fields we go, we watch the seasons flow, the beauty of the trees, the mountains and the seas. I watch your face aglow. I wish you joy and peace, a happy home, a heart that's free, a place where you belong, a life that's full of song. These are my dreams for you. Wherever life may lead, wherever you may be, I'll always be with you. You'll always be with me. And though the rain may fall, I'll be there through it all, to walk with you and find that sunshine once again, because it's there, it's always there.
Okay. So Farley is my daughter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Farley's my daughter. And I have been so horrified, I think, by the division in the world over the past few years. I'm feeling it now more than I've ever felt it. And I wanted to write something for her for this album because I've dedicated it to her. And the words of the song, and there's a dedication for her on the inside of the CD cover. They're really about the fact that, and they're for anybody who loves their child,
Which is most of us, I guess.
which is most of us. And let's face it, most people love children and want children to be happy and safe. And it's really about that. It's about wishing her a wonderful life, making sure that she feels great about herself, wishing her the strength to kind of overcome adversity, to know that I'm always there for her, to know that she will always be okay, whatever happens. The idea that she can build, a happy home, a place where she feels that she belongs, a place where she's free, a place where she's accepted. All the things that we want for our child.
Right.
And all the things that we would want for any child anywhere, and what every child deserves in the world. And that's really that's what the song is about. And I hate the division in the world right now, and it would just be so wonderful if we could look after one another a bit better. So
Absolutely.
it's about my daughter. It's about wishing her all the things that are necessary for a human being to be happy, and everything that you want for your child. That's the story. And she loves nature. We live in London, and I constantly feel guilty because I feel that she would rather be in the countryside. But I've used the sort of the images of nature in there to correspond with her sort of great loves and passions. and mine too, because I feel the same. I was brought up in the
Mm.
countryside, so that's uh, that's the story of the song.
Wow. That's
Mm.
brilliant. And I felt really drawn to it. So I'm really pleased that that's what the story is. That's
Oh,
brilliant.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much.
Right, talk to me about the band. So you've got Roland Perrin, who you've worked with before, and then what about the other two?
Yes. Yeah. So the amazing Roland Perrin, who is a brilliant pianist and composer and all-round fabulous human being. And then Michael Curtis Ruiz, who Trinidadian born bass player, absolutely funky as hell, incredibly good man. He's absolutely wonderful. Gave me so much advice about the album, and he's a great friend and colleague and a beautiful player and has so much depth to his sound, and passion. And yeah, absolutely love working with him, um, because he is brilliant and because he's a great person. Um, and then there's Paul Robinson, who is also fabulous. I mean, they're basically all brilliant. I mean, I have anything, they're just so fantastic. So Paul Robinson, who absolutely phenomenal drummer. Um, there's no one else quite like him. He adds such weight to everything. His swing is like the
Mm,
best, absolutely
mm,
incredible. He played with Nina Simone for I think it was 22 or 23
yeah.
years, and traveled around the world with her. So he's incredibly experienced, and incredibly good, and very versatile. Very versatile. He threw himself into that eclectic mix of the album so beautifully, and he's great at all the different bits and pieces that we had to do, all the different sounds, all the different vibes. So, yeah, I love them all. They are people I work with, and people I love as well. And so happy to have them in my band. And I'm also rather lucky to be married to Roland.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, it's quite handy,
Yeah.
and it's quite handy,
You did that
and
well.
also
I mean,
yeah,
pick a great pianist and then marry him, and then
yeah,
it's easy, isn't it?
yeah. I organised it quite well.
Yeah.
I turned up to a gig. I looked at him. I said, "You're mine," and that was it.
That's
Really,
fantastic.
it's all worked out swimmingly.
Brilliant.
So not only is he a brilliant piano player,
Yeah.
but I also love him a lot, and he's a brilliant collaborator. So that's great.
That's well done.
Yeah.
That's that's very
So
awesome.
I tend to sit down at the piano, write the chords out, know what I want to do, and then I just hand it. I go into the next room. I say, Roland, please make this sound pretty. Thank you very much. And that's
Fantastic.
that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but they're an amazing band. I feel so flipping lucky
Yeah.
to be able to work with them.
Yeah. There are some incredible musicians in the UK at the moment. Just amazing. I mean, world class, not just
Yeah.
good for the UK. I mean, they are literally world class musicians. It's brilliant.
Yeah, they're all sorts of wonderful
Yeah.
people. Yeah. And also on the album, I've got all sorts of people, different people from sort of different genres as well. So there's Paul Booth and Trevor Myers and Ryan Quigley on Time. They're the horn section on Time.
Ah.
They doing those little stabby
Yeah.
bits, absolutely brilliant. And Ryan Quigley does the solo. Um, they work a lot together, and I've gigged with Paul before as well, who is just
Yeah.
phenomenal. There's a great guitarist on called Ebenezer OK. He's got that George Benson sound, which is just delightful.
Mm.
Um, he's on time, and then there's a great guitarist called Sandy Buglas on The Jester and the Jewel. He does the guitar on that. Um, so I've got all sorts of people,
Yeah.
and then there's the choir.
Yes.
And Ebenezer was the choir master for them. I was really lucky. I worked with so many brilliant people on it.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, so Realms is out on the 27th of March. You've got the album launch on the 10th. What band have you got there at Pizza Express for the launch?
Okay, so I've got Roland Perrin on the piano, I've got Michael Curtis Ruiz on the bass, and I've got Paul Robinson on the drums. Um, I'm keeping it to those guys at the moment. I might have one or two special guests coming. I'm sort of TBC.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait and see. Um, but I really wanted to kind of have my core A team of
Yeah.
guys on that gig. They know the music really well. They're on the
Yeah.
album, and I know they'll make it sound great. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll have a big rehearsal on Monday, this coming Monday. And yeah, so I'm delighted, and I'm catching Paul just before he's going on tour with Eric Bibb.
Oh,
So
wow.
so that was super lucky.
Yeah. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Robinson's like, he's a proper name, isn't he? You know, in the
He's a bit of a
he
ledge.
is. Yeah. But well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure that'll be lovely. And Pizza Express Live is such a nice little venue, and I'm sure the quartet layout will be great. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it will be. It's lovely. I've played there a lot before,
Mm.
and it was the place that I thought would be really
Yeah.
nice for the launch. So I'm delighted that I'm able to go back there. It's really nice. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck with the album, and thank you for joining me to talk about it.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, Hilary. Thank you very much for asking me. I've really enjoyed chatting with you.
Come, let's take a day trip. Let's walk along the shore. Come, let's take a day trip. Have all you need and more. Let's spend the day together. Perhaps the evening too. Come, let's take a day trip. Come, let's take a day trip. Just us two. And when the night...
Thank you for joining me for the latest episode of Harmonious World, and I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Rachel Sutton. Please do rate and review this wherever you've listened to it. It really helps other people find Harmonious World. Don't forget there's also a Patreon site. All the links are in the show notes. Harmonious World is a completely independent podcast, so any support you give me is very gratefully received. And wherever you're listening in the world, I hope that the coming spring here in the UK marks a change for all of us in some of the dreadful things that have been going on around the world. Let's hope it all becomes more harmonious. But thank you for listening to Harmonious World. Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.